This is CBS 5 News, telling it like it is.
The recent discovery of those burned-out bodies in an SUV in Pinal County led many to speculate that it was the work of Mexican drug cartels. It turns out it wasn't, and it's sparking raw emotions over immigration.
And think you've heard it all when it comes to the immigration debate? I talked with an immigration lawyer who's written a book about the issue and what he says people are not talking enough about. Everyone, it seems, has an opinion about it, but just how many really understand the complexity of the issue? A new book called Show Trials: How Property Gets More Legal Protection Than People in Our Failed Immigration System offers some insight into the legal side of the immigration issue. And here to talk more about that is the author, Peter Afrasiabi. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, thank you.
You are a trial lawyer who's also worked pro bono as a federal appeals lawyer representing immigrants. Now, in this book, you give some case examples of why you believe the immigration system has failed.
We've, over time, developed a really robust property rights system in our property courts where we have due process, we have rights, we make sure people have their cases heard on the merits. In criminal cases where there's life and liberty, we give them lawyers. We've had judges who have been vetted. And that's my primary practice area, dealing with my intellectual property cases. But in the clinic I teach at the law school, in the immigration realm, you find a completely different set of procedures, rules, and structures in place that don't give the same types of protections to people. We don't give people, when they are in serious deportation proceedings where they are making political persecution claims, for example, and they could be tortured or killed if returned, we don't give them lawyers.
Let's talk about the issue just in general. It's become very politicized. You don't take any political sides in this book. You don't point any fingers. So do you have your own ideas for how we could go about reforming the immigration system? These
executive immigration courts that are really under the control of the executive need to be moved into the judicial branch, where we house all our courts that decide our property disputes, our criminal justice disputes. We need to distance them so that they are not politically tethered to the executive, and they're truly part of the independent judicial branch. Then we can apply the same litmus test we apply to hiring other judges, to the immigration judges, and hire a better group of judges on the whole, one that's more reflective of the population, of the federal judiciary, for example.
Well, the immigration issue, as you know, is very heated here in Arizona. And in your opinion, do you think that maybe the human and emotional side of this very big issue has been lost?
It has been lost. It's been lost because we're focusing on macro abstract policies and numbers, and we're not talking about the individuals who stand behind those numbers.
Let's go back to what you were talking about the judicial system. How much is all of this costing the country in defending and detaining immigrants?
Sure. The United States runs, it turns out, the largest detention program in the world in the immigration context. We spend $1.77 billion a year just detaining people in the immigration system. And a lot of these people are people seeking political asylum and seeking other sorts of relief in the United States. And this is a burden to the taxpayers.
Well, this is a very fascinating legal look at the issue, and we certainly appreciate you joining us to talk more about it. Once again, the book is called Show Trials: How Property Gets More Legal Protection Than People in Our Failed Immigration System. Peter Afrasiabi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.